are on the Highway 5 headed south. So when we turned left instead of turning right, we moved into uncharted territory. This is an area neither of us have been to before, but we've got the ocean out to our left. Great views. It's a beautiful sunny day, and we're looking forward to sharing this drive south with you guys.
Okay, just some thoughts on the first stretch of road here out of San Felipe. Watch out for those washes. They can really throw you around, and they are pretty much like giant dips. So take those very seriously. And there's a lot of potholes, so you're gonna need to be prepared to kind of zig and zag. And if there's nobody coming at you or nobody behind you, take your chunk out of the middle or take the best line, because it is pretty rough. So we're passing through the Puertecitos area, and this is a fascinating place because there's hot springs that come right out of the cliffs, and you kind of soak in them as the tide is in the mid swing there. We really want to check it out, but today's drive is going to be a long one, and unfortunately we're just going to have to miss it. So just as I said, the road has been rough. On the way out of Puertecitos, the road is super smooth. I'm digging it.
So while we're on a smooth stretch of road and you can actually hear me, I thought I'd tell you a little bit about the book that we got to come down here with. Camping Mexico's Baja. It was updated in 2012, so it's not 100% current, but it's not too bad. And it has just kind of the very basics of information that you need. A little bit about different RV parks. One thing I do really like about it is it tells you about roads that you're taking, and it grades them 1, 2s, or 3s. And so then you know whether or not it's a road that you can go down with your vehicle. It's not a lot in the way of like, ooh, you should go see this or go do that. It kind of tells you about like the fishing in the area or if there are any attractions, but it's mostly just utilitarian guide for where to stay and what roads to take and how to get places.
Wow guys, this road surface is amazing, and I know this is like the calm before the storm, because up ahead is a 25-mile stretch of dirt road, which is a little infamous, and we have spoken to several people. Dan from Malarrimo said rigs like ours drive it every day. It's not very pleasant, but it can be done. Our German friends Tom and Anita said that they did it in their Class A and it was just fine. They didn't bottom out or anything. And then I checked with our friends Sharon and Ron that live at Victor's RV Park, and they said it's totally good, just go slow. But this road right now, south of Puertecitos, is just amazing. You do need to watch out for rocks in the road, because there's a lot of road cuts and rocks just kind of slough off the side of the cuts. It's time for our first military checkpoint. Sí. Sí. Oh, the usual inspection. Buenos días. Welcome. Sí. ¿A dónde? Guerrero Negro. Sí. Gracias. Buenos días.
There.
Okay guys, that was rather easy. You don't really need to be afraid of these military checkpoints. They're just looking for people smuggling drugs, guns, and doing illegal activity. Nothing to worry about. guys, I think the 25-mile stretch of dirt road has officially begun. And right now we're only making about 6 miles an hour. So I sure hope there's spots where we can pick up a little more speed, or else this is gonna take a long time. Okay, wait for it, guys. Here's pavement again. And we are finally ending the dirt road stretch. Oh, that was torture. Oh, one more. Let's get the trailer up. Oh, you hear that, honey?
Silence.
Well, guys, that is not on the list of roads that I would like to drive again in this motorhome. So it's 22 miles and it took us 3 hours.
A little recap of that highway. The first half coming from San Felipe was definitely slower going. Once we got towards the end, maybe the last third, we were able to pick up the speed a little bit. The good news is that we saw evidence of new highway all the way along there.
Guys, I have forgotten how intense the driving is on the one here. I haven't driven much past San Quintin, but I do remember that pretty much if you go to Ensenada, those roads are just like driving in the US. But once you get past Ensenada, the road just gets so narrow. I think maybe like 19.5 feet wide. That is barely enough room for 2 trucks with mirrors to squeeze past each other. Very, very intense. And then you add in the stretches that are just riddled with potholes. Keeps you on your toes. Okay guys, this is another military check. Buenos tardes. Sí.
Okay, sí.
Gracias.
We are finally over onto the Pacific side. We can see the Pacific Ocean now. It's still a little bit off in the distance, but you can see it. You can tell from the breeze that the water is nearby because, I don't know, it just has that ocean feel and temperature, cooler temperature to it. Anyway, feels good to be getting close. We're both exhausted from this drive. I'm sure Ben far more than I am because he's actually been driving. So we're debating on where to stay. There's 2 options. We can either stay in town in Guerrero Negro. There are 3 campgrounds, it seems like, the 3 that the book recommends. One that they say has the best restaurant in this section of the Baja, and that people actually make a point to stay there one night just to eat at this restaurant. So we're hungry and tired and thirsty, and a pina colada or margarita or a tequila sunrise or something sounds really good right now. Anyway, in Guerrero Negro, we can either stay in town or we can drive about 20 miles farther south and go out and stay on the Laguna. And there's a restaurant and a souvenir shop out there as well. But our concern is that we're getting right to the end of the whale season. And what if it's closed, or what if we're the only ones out there? But at the same time, you know, it'd be much more relaxing to be out by the beach instead of in town. And it's a pretty good sized town. There's like 13,000 people. So just a little smaller than San Felipe. But it'd be nice to have cell phone service and internet, be able to upload some videos, be able to walk to a restaurant. So I know part of it is that we're just really tired from driving today, but we can't make up our mind.
We now have an inspection for going to Baja California. Sir, Hola. Fruit? See? Banana?
20 pesos for spring.
20 pesos?
Spring plant, first plant.
For the spray?
For spray?
Yeah. Second plant.
I read about that.
They're gonna spray something in our RV.
The bottom of the RV, they spray. I'm not too thrilled about this, but we're driving over this spray thing, which has probably got some Monsanto pesticide stuff in it. Yeah. I can feel the cancer setting in now. Alright guys, I am beat. I need something to drink, I need to stretch, and we pulled into Guerrero Negro and we're at the Malarrimo, and they have a restaurant, an RV park, and they run whale tours out of here. So we may not have mentioned it yet, but there's whales in the lagoon here and you can pet them. How cool is that? So make sure you hit that subscribe button so we can see you tomorrow.